Hi guys, hope everyone's well and welcome back to the YouTube channel. So in this video I'm going to go through a full day of eating I'd say post show, but it's probably too long after my show to class it as post show. So it's currently the 19th of April, competed in October and I've been in a gaining phase since. I'm now sitting just shy of 180 pounds and my stage weight was 160 pounds or round about that. And it's a Saturday and I'm training back in hamstring, so it's a training day today. And I'm getting my pre-workout meal in, which is 120 grams of chicken, 100 grams of pineapple, 100 grams of green beans, 150 grams of chicken, and also 25 grams of dark chocolate. That's quite a mouthful. And reason why this meal is quite big is you want the majority of your calories centered around training to support good performance and also recovery. And especially if it's like your first meal of the day and I've not ate anything before this. And wee tip for yourself, if you're in a dieting phase, what you can do is you can utilise hot sauce on your meals, which is what I'm doing here. So hot sauce can have an effect of suppressing appetite and also raising BMR, or how much calories you burn. And the reason I've got dark chocolate beside it on this meal is because fat will slow down the digestion of carbohydrates, giving me a sustained release of energy. The dark chocolate can also help you get a pump due to having polyphenols in it, which basically helps nitric oxide production. In other words, helps improve blood flow, dilate your blood vessels. So that's a good tool to have pre-workout as well as obviously tasting nice. So enjoy the episode, and if there's anything you'd like to see kind of next in terms of training videos, then let me know. So really good session boxed off. I was training back in hamstrings today. Everything progressed pretty much, which I'll talk through in a second. Now it's time for my post-workout meal before doing some personal training, getting some steps in prior as I've got a wee bit of a break. The kind of PT, where PT's kind of on my way home. So instead of kind of driving back, I'll just get my steps done and kind of use this time to kind of get a bit more work done when I'm on my walk. So yeah, meal number 2 post-workout is 150 grams of rice, 100 grams of green beans, and 120 grams of chicken with some, I think it's Brussels sprout and kimchi hot sauce, which is actually pretty nice, and also just salt and pepper. So I'm going to get this down me, like I said, go a walk, which I'll catch up with you then, and then got my personal training. So a good session boxed off, as I touched on, everything that in the session moved pretty well, and that's how it kind of should be. Like when you're kind of nailing those variables outside the gym, you don't have sessions that don't go well. You don't have the weeks where nothing moves, nothing progresses, because you've ticked the boxes to ensure that progression takes place. And what you'll notice with a few of my meals is, like, I've got the same carb source, so 3 of my meals are rice based. If you're someone who kind of struggles with meal prep, thinks it's super inconvenient and a lot of hassle, don't be afraid. Yes, have some variation in there, but don't be afraid to kind of repeat some similar food choices. Like, because if you're having potatoes one meal, rice one meal, cream of rice one meal, oats another, and you know what I mean, a different carb source, different protein source, different fat source every single meal, it can just complicate things. Whereas I've got a rice cooker, which is an absolute game changer if you don't already have one. What you can do is just cook a big thing of rice in the morning, distribute it into your meals, and then that's you done. It saves you again chopping up potatoes, dealing with all the different foods. So if you're someone that struggles with the adherence side of things, give that a try. And I'll overlay some clips on the screen as well from my session. But yeah, everything went well. I'm gonna, I think, drop weight on the Cybex Row, which is the white row machine you're looking at some point during this video, and also the hip thrust, just because I think I could get a bit more range on the row, get my up arm a bit further back and more retraction of the shoulder, and basically move that up arm further behind my torso, allowing me to get more in my upper back. And with the hip thrust, I just feel like I don't need that much weight to get the job done. I feel like I could cue using my glutes a bit better with less weight. That's something I've been trying to do recently, and I've just been kind of dropping reps week on week. But the internal stimulus is better, and it's an absolute ball ache loading all those plates on the machine, so it will save me time doing that as well, because the calibrated plates, the really thin ones I need to use, are quite like a bit across the gym, so it will just save me time and also allow me to get more out of the sets without accumulating as much fatigue. So that's a weekly shop done, and I've just had a protein shake after PT, which contained 95 grams of ground rice, 100 grams of berries, and also 40 grams of whey. So I just have this as a shake, just for simply time convenience, especially like when my days are quite busy. Half the time I'm personal training, so I don't have time for a meal. So it's a good way to kind of get a protein feeding and a meal in between, and allow me to get just a bit more done in my day without needing to kind of miss meals, not get my calories in. So I've spent the last kind of few hours editing some podcast content. I like to try and, when possible, when my time permits, like when I'm recording podcasts, like I just done 4 at once. Reason being is just from like a time efficiency point of view. I think it's so much more efficient than setting that podcast up, getting everything sorted, getting the audio right, and then recording one, putting the stuff away. If I can just do a lot at once, it's a lot more efficient. So kind of like batching my tasks. And next is meal 4, which is 125 grams of rice, so a bit less rice, a bit further away from training, and also it is 120 grams of lean beef, an egg, and then some mushrooms and onion. Probably my favourite meal. In my actual meal plan, it is 5% mince, but I prefer to have lean beef, and the macros are pretty much the same, so it's not the end of the world there. I'm not going to get to the end of my gaining phase and have no muscle because I've made that substitute, put it that way. So yeah, gonna eat this meal, and then my rest of the day will look like some more work, and then get the rest of my steps off, do some work on my phone, and then have a bath and relax. It's a Saturday, and usually I see my girlfriend, but she's going on a night out, so just using this time to catch up on more work. If any of you are self-employed, then you will know there's an endless list of things to do. So when I am, well, the good thing about like my girlfriend is, this isn't obviously the only good thing about her, but she makes me switch off, because I can't work when I'm around her all the time, or I could, but I wouldn't be a great partner. So it gives me the escape of work, which is good in a sense. So I'm going to eat this meal, and then get some steps in later on after some work. Alright guys, sitting down for the final meal of the day, and the final meal is 125 grams of oats, and also 40 grams of whey, 20 grams of almond butter, and also 10 grams of cocoa powder. Cocoa powder contains a lot of flavonols, and dark chocolate in particular, so if you look up kind of the benefits of dark chocolate, it can do things from improve your mood, improve your blood flow, helping performance as a result of that. So there's a lot of health benefits associated with it, and it tastes good. So that's what I've got, as well as 100 grams of blueberries. And hope you enjoyed the video and took a bit of value from it. I'll kind of get some more videos out, hopefully on a relatively frequent basis, cover other topics for yourselves. But if there's any kind of topics you'd like covered or things you'd like to see in particular, then feel free to ask, and I'll happily consider it.